Bhagavan, thy child's tiny hands have gathered these small flowers from the immense garden of thy glory and woven them into a clumsy garden. But it is offered at thy divine feet with a big noise, calling it all about Shivananda. The fragrance and the beauty of the color belong to thee. It is thine own unsurpassable love for thy children that makes thee accept this too. It was said of Lord Krishna that everything about him was sweet. It is true of Bhagavan Shivananda. Today, Dr. Kuppuswamy transformed himself into Swami Chidananda, and the austere, stern, and hard taskmaster Swami Chidananda has somehow mysteriously vanished. When and how, no one knows. The Shiva we see in our midst today is the most lovable concrete manifestation of divine life. May that love dwell in our hearts. Jai Shivan.
ॐ नमो भगवते शिवानन्दाय ॐ नमो भगवते शिवानन्दाय ॐ नमो भगवते शिवाय.
The Incredible Gift of Our Spiritual Heritage by Sri Swami Chidananda. An instrument of thy peace. As far as we know about the human race, since ancient times there has been a continuing development in human society. In the beginning, man wanted to know where he could find food, water, and shelter, but then a period came when, not satisfied with knowing only about his immediate physical environment, the desire arose to ask deeper questions. Past observances had revealed to him that all of life seemed to be an entry and an exit. He began to ponder. Why am I here? Where did I come from? Where do I go? These questions were asked, but there were no answers forthcoming. Some adventuresome people with a pioneering spirit desired to pry open the door that held this mystery and see what was behind it. This was a totally new and unexplored dimension. People started out on this intrepid search into the realm of the spirit, and they began investigating not only the outer nature but also the inner field of man's own being. They must have gained insights into what up until that point had been a hidden unknown. These insights are the content of the metaphysical, philosophical, and religious domain of man's life. We are the richer because these ancient people took up this inquiry as their mission in life. Today, confused and agitated mankind has lost its sense of identity, and does not seem to perceive a satisfactory meaning in life. If man could but recognize that the discoveries of these ancient seers are meant for modern man, then he could once again regain his sense of direction in terms of the meaning of life. There would thus be a solution to the problems that cause him to be a stumbling, despairing wanderer. This stumbling would be a needless and avoidable distress if only man could realize that these ancient teachings were meant for modern age as well. They are for us today, because these insights are the common heritage of the entire human species and are tools that are meant to be used. They are so many lights for us to live by and to guide us purposefully to exalted goals. This rich legacy of the past forms a perennial, precious heritage for mankind in every century. Sadly, though, the true place in life of these great teachings has not been recognized, and we are the poorer for it. So much suffering could be avoided if only the proper role these teachings have to play in our lives was acknowledged. They constitute the true wealth of human society. Ultimately, unless the why and wherefore of life is properly understood, man's life is bound to be a confused, futile wandering filled with a great deal of disillusionment, frustration, and sorrow. But if we claim this heritage, make it our own, and live in the light of these great revelations that the ancients have left for us, then our way will be clear. If one were to ask a large gathering of people, "What is the way that you deal with your own mind?" one would find that most of them had never before asked themselves this question. They would also likely not even know that there is a need to have some formula for dealing with their inner self. They have no well-defined formula or method of mind management. Most probably the situation is that they are themselves managed by the mind. They just drift and go in whatever direction the mind drags them. This situation prevails in the vast majority of human beings in modern society. It is like being in a vehicle but not being in control of the steering wheel. This would lead to disaster. There should be a purpose behind thought, and this alone can save the human individual from falling prey to miscellaneous and uncontrolled ideas. Aimlessness is a great vice as well as a great danger. It is a vice because it is also a danger. Harm can come from aimlessness of mind even as harm can come from a vice. Just as we like to have a very well-ordered room with everything in its place, in a similar way we need to think of making the same arrangements within our own mind. We are very particular about the way in which our exterior looks, but we don't bestow the same attention on having a well-ordered interior. Every person needs to be shown the necessity of purposeful thinking, and it is best done at an early age. Swami Chidananda.
Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya.